Catering for Diversity in the Classroom. My name is Sophie Goddell and I am studying the Bachelor of Primary Education. This presentation will focus on diversity in the classroom as well as empowering learners to create an inclusive environment. Part A. Diverse needs and backgrounds. Diversity refers to the varied social, economic, and ethnic backgrounds of learners, the different expression of learners' sex, gender, and sexuality, and the cognitive and physical needs of learners. This is a quote from Ewing et al., 2019, page 43. Diversity is a concept which suggests that every individual has different traits which make them unique. These differences can manifest in their life experiences, personality, and backgrounds. When these categorizations overlap, intersectionality occurs. Due to these varying backgrounds, each student will have diverse needs that teachers must aim to meet. For instance, a child from a refugee background might speak English as their second language, which might mean they need further learning support. Refugee children may also have a trauma background, which requires a heightened sense of sensitivity from teachers and additional resources to help them cope. The Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership established the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, which are a set of standards which guide quality teaching and which all teachers should abide by. The first standard, Know Students and How They Learn, contains various focus areas which guide teachers in catering for diversity. It states that teachers must use teaching strategies that cater for individual developmental stages, the needs of students from different linguistic, cultural, religious, and socioeconomic backgrounds, the needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, and for varying levels of ability, including gifted students and students with disabilities. The second standard, Know the Content and How to Teach It, addresses diversity in Focus Area 2.4, which is Understand and Respect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to promote reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. This requires teachers to understand and be empathetic towards the diverse needs of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and to teach about the related histories, cultures, and languages. A deficit view of diversity occurs when differences are viewed as less than. This can mean that less learning opportunities are provided for students who have diverse needs and backgrounds, as they are expected to attain lower results. These deficit views result in the stereotyping of all students into groups and can result in teachers giving up on certain groups rather than focusing on the individual learning needs of the child. Teachers with this view may feel like these students need to be fixed or changed, or that their differences make them impossible to teach. This view disadvantages students, as it often means that teachers blame students for their disengagement or poor performance, rather than reflecting on their own teaching strategies and questioning why they are not effective for all students. Teachers who have a deficit perspective on diversity are often ineffective or unequipped to teach students with diverse needs, as they do not take the time to respond to the individual needs of the child. Part B, Empowering Learners. Inclusive education is a set of practices which ensures that the needs and backgrounds of all students are considered when teaching. It reduces the marginalization and discrimination of some students that can and often does occur within the education system, while realizing the right that all children have to a quality education. It celebrates diversity by acknowledging the reciprocity of the relationship between the teacher and student, in that both the teacher and student can learn from each other. Inclusive education operates on the notion that all students have the equal potential to learn and that their current level of knowledge and understanding is not fixed and can be improved. There are different teaching approaches which respond to diversity in the classroom, some of which are more inclusive than others. Exclusion occurs when students are denied learning opportunities, which create unequal learning outcomes. Segregation occurs when students are taught in separate learning environments away from their peers. These approaches have been known to cause damage to students' self-worth and resilience. Finally, integration occurs when all students are taught in the exact same manner and no provisions are made for students with diverse needs. While the teaching approach may be equal, the learning outcomes will not be the same, as some students, such as those with learning disabilities, may need further support to achieve the same outcomes as their peers. Compared to integration, inclusive education may involve further support or adjustments to teaching being made in order to create equal learning outcomes for all students. To support individuals in the context of everybody, Spratt and Florian state that teachers must learn to respond to differences between individual students without perpetuating the marginalization that can occur when some are treated differently from others. They state that instead of supplying different or additional options for students who may not be able to engage in the traditional learning environment that occurs in a classroom, teachers should provide numerous options that are available to everyone. By providing equal opportunities for all students regardless of ability, teachers will reduce the potential singling out that traditional strategies may cause. By changing our attitude from needing to cater to most and some to everybody, we create a unified and safe learning environment for all students, including those with diverse needs and backgrounds. My teaching philosophy on diversity. To foster an inclusive and welcoming environment, I will implement teaching strategies which not only address diversity, but celebrate it. I believe that in a way, all students are diverse, and therefore we need to develop teaching approaches which propose multiple options for all students. This way, teachers can celebrate diversity among all students and avoid grouping students into limiting stereotypes that do nothing more than limit opportunities for students who may very well be capable of great academic achievement. Thank you for listening.